Hello, and welcome to the Art of Intuition podcast. My name is Susan Jane, and I believe that trusting your intuition is the best way to live your life with meaning and purpose. Each week you will hear about how you can connect, develop, and trust your intuition through interviews with other guests and my own personal experiences. Join me to understand how your intuition can guide you towards a life full of meaning and loving purpose. Hello and welcome to the Art of Intuition podcast. I'm Susan Jane, your host for the podcast, and every time I listen to that entrance, I just want to make her go a bit quicker, but it's me and I can't do that. But anyway, today I'm really excited because we have brushed over this subject a few times in different podcasts, but this time we're going to go down deep in it. And we have got a very special young man here, and his name is Neo, and he is joining us. I'm not going to talk about Neo like I do with most podcasts, because I like them to talk about them, because I struggle talking about myself, so I'm going to make them go through it as well. Anyway. Come on board. Neo, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Susan, for having me. It is my honor to be here, truly.
Well, look, the first thing I've got to ask you is your name. Now, Neo, Neo positivity. Now, you've got to explain that to me.
Well, my name is Nehemiah Davila, and when I was a police officer, I earned the nickname Neo, like from the guy from The Matrix. And after I learned the law of attraction, I ended up retiring a couple months later. That's when my philosophy or my way of seeing things, I called that neo-positivity, and somehow that became how they called me before I go on stage. So I just went with it.
That's cool. I love it. I think it's great because straight away it gives you that nice feeling. Like, just when I saw your name when it first came up, it was like, oh, this guy's right. He's right there. I love that. That's great. But we're talking about the law of attraction. But before we get there, now I want to know a little bit more about you. You said because you've come from one of the poorest and most dangerous cities in America, and you said you were a policeman. So not only have you come from a dangerous and scary spot, which I don't know where that is, but you also would have seen the worst of the worst being a policeman as well.
Yeah, they say the town is called Camden City, New Jersey. And they say that 1 year in Camden is like 5 years anywhere else. So it's crazy. It's crazy. But back then, when I was 20 years old, young Thundercat running around, all that excited me. Like chasing people down dark alleyways with guns was a daily part of my life. I look forward to it. I believe they referred to me as a pit bull once. I wouldn't do any of that now. But yeah, it was definitely, it definitely had its moments. Most dangerous city in America, 6 out of the 8 years I was there. Still one of the poorest, if not the poorest cities in America. Born there, raised up there a little bit, not all the way raised, but my dad was a cop there. He was one of the sergeants. My sister was a dispatcher. I became a cop. A couple cousins were cops, so it was just in the blood.
Oh wow! So you've sort of followed a little bit of a tradition down. Wow.
Yeah, it was a pension with benefits. That's how we looked at it. And my dad was like, if that's the fallback, whatever you plan to do after high school, if it doesn't work, that's your fallback. And I fell back. I was shooting for the NFL, but that wasn't my calling.
Oh, okay. Wow. You have got a few stories under your belt, haven't you?
A couple.
Okay. All right. So what led you to the law of attraction? How did you get into that? What was that all about?
Well, one day, one of my old partners, because we used to switch a lot of partners, but one of my partners was a retired CIA agent. And he said, listen, they got this movie they make us all watch in the academy. You got to see it. And I'm expecting some SWAT team, because I was on the SWAT team. I'm expecting like that type of movie, but it was actually The Secret. And I was done. After that, everything changed. I manifested my first thing. It's on my the entrance to my doorway. It's a feather. Because in the movie they say to talk about a feather or a butterfly, whichever one you don't see that much. And I thought about just holding a feather in my hand because I always saw butterflies, and no good, no bad, just holding it. No one knew what I was doing. No one knew I was even watching the movie except him. And the next day, I was going outside, and there was a feather in my windshield wiper, just blowing in the wind, like to the point where I had to run and grab it before it flew off. And I was just like, man, if I can do that, I can do anything. And so I got obsessed. I wanted to learn everything I could, YouTube videos, studying that led to meditation, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, a bunch of other books. But there was this one exercise that I stumbled upon. I call it the Watcher exercise. I stumbled upon that 8 months later in the beginning of November and really began to implement that exercise. And November 28th, 2008 was my last day working the streets. And since then, I've just been touring the country teaching people how I use it, in hopes that they can apply it to their life in some way and try to get some of the changes that I got.
Wow, whoops, hang on, I better put myself back up there. That's incredible. So what was that period between when you saw it to when you actually left the police force?
8 months.
Wow, good on you.
I was obsessed though. When I say I was obsessed, because here's the thing. If you ever seen Casper the Friendly Ghost, there's this episode where the three brothers kidnap this guy. And the reason why they kidnap him is because every time he snaps his finger, a dollar bill pops out. And so they got him in a room snapping his fingers all day. And so I try to look at life like that. If I have 60 to 70 thoughts on average per day per person, and each one could be literally like snapping my fingers and creating money, why would I let them create pain or fear or anguish or anything like that? And so I was really obsessed with finding ways to be positive all day. But then the brain is a muscle, has muscle memory. Most of our thoughts are on autopilot. It's going to throw us what it's used to throwing at it. So now I got to change what my brain is used to throwing at me. And that became the question. How do I do that? How do I change my average thoughts in order to change all of my outcomes? And so that was the obsession point. That was when I needed to learn what was going on up here, why it was going on that way, and how I could change it for the good, not just for right now. And so, 8 months it took, and I was done. That's the last time I worked.
Wow. So when you're talking about this obsession, I know that it's pretty common into a certain degree that once you start to learn about this sort of stuff and about spirituality and all the rest of it, it does, you do go down lots of little warrens, rabbit warrens, and you start to go off in different, areas, which is really good because it's good to test. And I always test the theories and try them all out anyway. But you're saying obsession. Now, with the listeners and with life in general, you've still got work, you've still got family, you've still got household, stuff to pay for. You've still got all that, the real world stuff. How do you get this obsession to really start to work for you? Like, I know you're saying you're thinking positive, but like when the washing needs to be hung up and the kids on the ground screaming and yelling and you sort of go, oh, how can I have a positive thought here? What's one of those little steps that we can take to sort of help change that? There's your puppy dog. I can hear him.
Oh, yeah. You know what? You got to change the narrative of what's going on in that moment. Think of every thought like putting a drop of water into different flower pots. Picture 1,000 little flower pots in front of you. And each one represents something different. Things I like about my job, things I don't like about my job, my spouse, my house, my kids, Facebook, what my boss said. How you feel all day is watering these different seeds, and majority wins. Where there once was nothing, now you got something physically standing in front of you. Some things leave you sitting there wondering, how did this get here? Why is this here? Well, it's because you watered that seed. I would proactively not have myself in that situation ahead of time. For example, I don't cook, I don't clean, I don't wash my clothes, I barely drive, and I'm not bragging. I just need you guys to see my list of goals completed. I had a specific set of things I didn't want to do anymore, and I knew the answer to everything, the answer to anything I want, I can just use one affirmation for, kind of like, I'm so happy and thankful that it's taken care of for me. I'm so happy and thankful that I love meditating. It took me 16 days to learn how to meditate. It was torture for the first 15 until one day I used my cheat code. I'm so happy and thankful that I enjoy meditating. I'm so happy and thankful that I'm good at meditating. And I've loved it ever since. And that's kind of my cheat code for anything that I'm trying to do or learn or get, is start off with that affirmation and then move on to other things. The thing about affirmation is this. And yes is a great one. Keep that one in mind, because we're going to get into remember to do these in a little bit. But when you do your affirmation, no matter how false the statement may be, by the third time, you should be smiling. By the fifth or sixth time, your brain is entertaining the idea and your subconscious is answering how it would feel to be in that situation. So you're watering a beautiful seed. You're proactively manifesting that thing into your life. So really hold on to the rules of the game and then play them accordingly. One of the rules, if you want to not manifest negative stuff, is to not be in that headspace. You know, when the bills are coming, when times are tough. Perfect example is like when you have a grandparent in the hospital and you're trying to be positive, but the ego still keeps beating you in the head with that narrative of what if, and you know, they're old and da da da. It's getting through those moments that make you better at getting through those moments, in the sense of your brain will start to do it for you. And that's what you want. 60,000 thoughts, trying to make at least 30,000 and one of them positive, to be 51% positive throughout the day. That would be annoyingly impossible to wake yourself up 30,000 times. So you got to make the autopilot thoughts, the ones that are going on when you're walking down the hallway and driving or using the bathroom. You got to make those work for you. And that's where the art really comes in. That's when your mental exercises really come into play. If you're going to spend 2 hours in the gym working on your body, you need to spend at least 2 hours in the gym working on your mind. And that's why I pride myself on that. Every night from midnight till 2 a.m, I hit record, I speak, get intuitive. What comes to me, I say it out loud. It just so happens to be beautiful. And now I got another Facebook video for tomorrow. And that's kind of how I roll with it, as far as that.
Wow, that's really good. So you're doing it at 12 o'clock at night to 2 o'clock in the morning.
That's when it's when it's quiet. Families sleep. I don't have any worries.
Yeah.
None of the kids are out driving or anything like that. I just feel it's so much more peaceful. I'm a nighttime person anyway. So
Yeah. So what you've done is you've found that time frame that is allowing you to be yourself, or to have the time to meditate, to have the time to start to change those thoughts in your head and start to create that positive look. Because I know when the world's going a little bit crazy and there's deadlines and there's this and that, sometimes it can be really, really hard. But what you did say, which is what I really liked in that part then, is that you said you've got to start to think it or say it out loud, however it was, but you've got to start to say it. And you say it a couple of times and it feels really foreign.
Mm-hmm.
But after the third time, you start to smile. And you start to acknowledge it. And so basically what you're doing is almost retraining your subconscious by using your conscious to retrain the subconscious.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We can't access our subconscious. We can't directly even pull from it. So if you can change what's coming out of your mouth now by repetition, use that to change your subconscious. Subconscious doesn't know any better. It only takes one thought to spark an erection. It is what it is. The subconscious doesn't know if it's real or it's not. So you can play all the games you want. How much money do you got up here? I always ask people that. How much money do you got in the mental world, in Neo land, or Susan land? How much money you got over there? And the answers are always $1 million, $10 million. And I'm like, that's it? 500 million. That's it? $1 trillion. That can't you give $1 trillion to everyone on the planet in your mind and still not even tapped into your resources? Yes, you're unlimited over there. So there's a quality and an essence behind that needs to get absorbed fully in order to, I guess, fully engulf yourself in the law of attraction and wrap your head around it. Every thought has a foundation, like a house. You could paint the walls pretty colors and put pictures up, but if the foundation is built on crap, the house is crap. And you can try to be as positive as you want, but if you're broken so you get paid next Friday, every single one of your thought foundations is going to have that negative connotation, like tarnished, you know? So work on your foundations. That way every thought and everything that happens will fall in line. But it takes a lot of, it takes a lot of practice, and you got to be curious as to what's going on up here and why it's going on. Think a thought, see what happens. Dissect why it happened. But if you're not doing any of this work up here, then you don't really want it to me. You don't want it. You're not willing to put in the work.
Okay, all right. And now, with what you've just said, you're saying that we'll be watching our thoughts and everything else. What are some of those things that we could be living, experiencing, that we? Oh, sorry, I'm just trying to get the words out. I'm trying to express that we're in this situation. How can we start to change those thoughts? So, and I guess it's those little one steps at a time that we're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
I know what I was going to say. Sorry, Neo. It was, you were talking about the money. Okay. Now, straight away, you go, okay, what's in Susan's head, and $1 million. Oh, is that all? Oh, $2 million. Oh, is that all? And you keep going up. Now, when we're trying to change these positive thoughts, when you say $1 trillion million, well, that does not resonate with me, even though I know it's there. I know it's available. I know, the law of attraction is there and that, but it doesn't resonate with me straight away or comfortably, if that makes sense. So I guess where I'm going with this little spiel is that if people can't do $1 trillion to start with, start at $1 million and just have at least you've got a positive focus on where you're at now. So if $1 million is fantastic for you now in the situation you are in, once you get used to that, then you can go again to 10 million and you get used to that. Is that?
I would even drop it lower. I would start off with a number that you can actually believe. If that's 10,000, then go get you 10,000 and then up it to 20 and then up it to 40 and then 80, whatever you want to do. The reason why I went at that Neo land scenario wasn't exactly for the money. It was for your abundance. Since birth, we're taught limits. You can only reach so far. You can only scream so loud. Your parents teach you can only spend so much. It's very hard for us to see unlimited. And the only place we can see unlimited is up here. God can take your life right now, but he can't stop you from thinking about a red apple on the table. Okay, and since that world, an imagination world that's real enough to stop your heart, we've all been running scenarios that were like, oh my goodness, it's real. That world is a prerequisite to this world. So when you limit yourself over here, I can't do that. It's going to take me 18 months to get that business up and running, or I can't get that promotion. I'm not qualified. Over there, you are qualified. Over there, you do have the money. And over there, just so happens to be what's going to happen over here. So let's dream bigger. Everyone I've coached that wanted $100,000, they got around 96 that year. Close but no cigar, but guess what? Shoot far, aim high. So that's kind of like where I was going with that situation. Money is a funny thing. I like to use fear to get people to wake up and do their mental exercises. If you know that every time you worry about money, it's literally like pulling money out of your account and handing it to the casinos, you might as well just go to casinos with it. If I can get you thinking of negative thoughts about money like that, then maybe we can make some progress. Take it a step further. I like to think of money as an exchange. Like if aliens came here and were like, how do you guys exchange? What is your currency? Oh, we have this thing called the dollar. And so I group it into a category like that. That's how we exchange stuff in America. Now, My relation, that category, I'm going to give it kind of an essence, not a personality, but an essence. It's a being. My relationship with this being directly reflects my future with this being. Because the times when you're thinking money's rough, my relationship with money is rough. Thoughts become things. Like in the movie The Secret, your wish is my command. Your relationship with money is going to be rough. The more you feel that. But when you're happy about your relationship with money, you manifest a future where you're happy about your relationship with money. And so that's the basic principle behind it. Take it a step further. The $100 bill, highest form of currency that you can, hold in your hand in America. So for me to grab a $100 bill and tell it that I respect it, I respect you. It's a 100% accurate statement. The ego has to sit back and let me sit in that, marinate in that respect. I love $100 bills. 100% accurate statement. Manifest a future where I'm holding a $100 bill in my hand saying, man, I love $100 bills. And that's the kind of future you want to manifest. Now, this is the hardest thing for a person to imagine if they're broke. But this is how you get out of it. Trust me. I've been in some places. I haven't always been here. Most of my life, it was, it was a struggle.
Yeah. And the thing is with that, if they want to, you can imagine a $100 bill, but if they're having an issue with that, they could always print one out, not illegally, but just as on the piece of paper, and they get that visual.
Take it a step further. This money essence that I'm talking about, it's either with you or not with you. And as long as you have at least a penny, it's with you.
Ah, okay. Yes.
So for you to want to go out and grab money outside of you is counterproductive because it's not outside of you. It's a part of you. It is you. Everything that exists, everything, you, me, this desk is just one big vibrating frequency wave, vibrating at different points. You're vibrating at your density. I'm vibrating at mine. This desk is vibrating at it. But it's all just one energy wave. Every single piece of dollar, every notion about dollars is just energy wave. So for you to want to get a dollar outside of you is for you to want something that literally not only doesn't exist, but you're never going to get.
Yes.
You have to appreciate what's with you already.
Yeah, because you're not resonating with it. Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's really interesting. And I like how you've sort of stepped through it. It gives it a little bit more understanding for people that are listening. But before we go any further, Neo, I want to put down that because we've got your website going down on the ticker tape at the bottom, but of course the podcast don't see that. So Neo's website is www.neopositivity.com. Now that's Neo is NEO and positivity is POSITIVY.
ITY.
I had to think then. Oh my goodness.
Yes, I do that every time I spell it. I'm like POSITIVITY. They made a little song.
Yeah, that's how I had to learn how to spell intuition. I can assure you it went a lot of different ways too.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the podcast. I'm not going to spell it again. Sorry, that's the website. I'm not going to spell it again. So when you're doing now, okay, I'm going to talk about this summit. Now, Neo's got Neo Positivity's Thoughts Become Things, just like his t-shirt, summit. Now, you can get all the information from the Neo's LOA Summit. Now, Law of Attraction, obviously, LOAsummit.com, or go back onto the website, which is neopositivity.com. Tell me all about this summit. What does this summit mean, and what are we looking at there? Why would people join it?
Well, when I first started getting really good at the law of attraction, I got custody of my kids and, all this other stuff. I started interviewing people. I just wanted to get what they knew. Anyone who knew about the law of attraction and obviously was using it, because you could tell if someone's using it by their lifestyle. If they're poor, broke, and hungry, and their family hates them, I don't think they're a guru at the law of attraction. But so I would interview people, and then I manifested this TV show in New Jersey. called Off the Bench, where I would interview coaches, but I chose coaches about the law of attraction. So basically, for the last 12 years, I've been interviewing people one person at a time, getting whatever information I could from them, taking the best stuff, field testing it with my friends and family. When it works, I post it on Facebook. Well, a year ago, that's January, I decided instead of just interviewing one person, because like me and you can sit here and talk and we'll bounce ideas off each other. And then all of a sudden it'll seem like the balls will collide and the third idea will be birthed. And we're like, oh man, I'm going to try that. And that was happening with everyone I interviewed. And so I said, you know what would happen if I took a bunch of life coaches or, enthusiasts and we were all exchanging ideas? What would it be like then? And that was it. Neo-Positivity Thoughts Become Things Summit was born. That was last January. We just did our 1 year anniversary last weekend, January 22nd. You guys can check that out. There's a summit Facebook page. It's the same thing. Neo-Positivity Thoughts Become Things Summit group. I mean, not a page. Yeah, it's a group that you can get all the updates. So anyway, we do the summit once a month. It's on the third Saturday of every month. And it's like a campfire. Literally, it's like a campfire, except every half an hour, I'll stop and give someone the floor for 5 minutes. And in that 5 minutes, that person is going to answer 2 questions. How do they use the law of attraction, like affirmations or morning rituals? And what has it done for them? Like, my life's changed. I lost 40 pounds. I got a promotion and I'm married. So after that 5 minutes, for the next 25 minutes, we're hitting them with questions. Any and everybody's getting questions. It's a campfire. We're just exchanging ideas and we're co-signing. Oh, I did that and this worked. Oh, I remember. Oh, I like that. And then we're taking questions from the audience. We got lightning rounds where somebody, where we're just shoot people questions they got to answer in 60 seconds. It's just a great time, a great atmosphere. And most important, you learn. This board behind me is usually filled every corner with some type of tip or a trick or some way of using the law of attraction that you can get results soon, very soon. Like, you shouldn't have to wait 16 months for that promotion. You can manifest something better within the next 30 days, that type of soon. And for smaller things like feathers and little things like that, it'll be the next day, phone calls. So anyway, yeah, that's the gist of the summit. I want to get to a point where I grow it to where we're doing it in person. As soon as COVID and all that other stuff clears up, in person, where we can do it every week in a different corner, like Florida, New York, California, and Texas, and then back in Florida for for every month. So that's the plan behind the summit, and I think it's the best collection of law of attraction practices on the planet. I've participated in several summits. I've seen so many different type of webinars and all this other stuff, and they're all cool, but the people I put together, the group, it's uncanny. It's something different. It's something special.
Yeah, wow, that sounds really interesting. I did my own little law of attraction theory test. I'm a theory tester, so I'm definitely, like you said, you had your feather. Mm-hmm. I did mine, but I did mine through visualization. So basically, I did mine. I would do it every day. I did it for about 6 months. Did it every day. I visualized the house being redecorated because I couldn't afford to do it. So I wanted to get it redecorated. So I thought, you don't worry about the money. You go, what do you want? Think about what you want. So I would go into every room and I'd go, this is what I want this room to look like. And I even went to the local hardware store and picked out my kitchen cupboards, like the colors and the taps. So I really got stuck into what I wanted. Mm-hmm. And it was like 6 months from when I first started, when I decided to test this theory. It took 6 months. And this big storm went through and ripped off our roof. And it was really quite intense, quite scary for a little bit. But, basically they said, well, you've got new for old insurance. And, $85,000 later, the house was exactly as, And so, yes, I do that. That's why when you said the law of attraction, yep, mate, I'm there, been there, done that. I love it. So visualization is a lot of my go-to, because I'm good at seeing, like, the third eye seeing, and getting an understanding of that, and then bringing it into a feeling. I have to have the feeling matching with the vision for me to get somewhere. So is that what you're referring to, sort of that type of thing?
I actually just wrote it down, playing make believe. That's what I like to call it now, because that's what it is. That's what we're doing. But you're doing it on a massive scale. If you ever watched The Founder, the story behind McDonald's, when their building was down and he wanted to revamp everything and make the big switch to McDonald's, to being the McDonald's that it is now, he took all his employees to the park, and on the basketball court, he chalked out where everything is: the greaser, the grill, the register. And he had them all day, this group of people, employees, simulate what was going to go there, what was going to go there. And he was timing them. Everyone was contributing energy, their energy dollars. I like to say that every moment that you're alive, you're given one energy dollar to spend on exactly what you want. And will you spend it on drama? Will you spend it on success, being thankful, complaining, Facebook, whatever it is? That's on you. But you get one energy dollar to spend on exactly what you want. And whatever you spend it on, it will come to your doorstep, like Amazon.com. The majority, the ones that, take up, the ones that you watered a lot, I say the seeds. And so that's what you were doing. When I was my last house in Jersey, huge house, lots of land. I love that freaking house. It was, my dogs, it was, I would go there every day and plan out what was going to go where. And I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but I kind of had access to the house for the 40 days that it took for the settlement to go through. And every day I went there, took the family there. We ate. We went to each and every room. What are you going to put there? What are you going to put there? Oh, I'm going to paint this room all white. Da, 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 da. And that's how it came. But it was no mistake. It was a process to me. I knew that I wanted to get it sooner than later. And I did what I had to do to get it, which meant driving there and hanging out, visualizing. When your mind's saying, come on, it's not going to go through. This could go wrong. That could go wrong. Fighting and defeating all those type of thoughts as they came in. Conditioning my mind to kill all that noise before it even really became something I can hear. That's the objective. When you condition your mind to do it for you, that's when you start to sit pretty, and that's when you start to sit back and let the world, and you'll just be in awe at what's happening. And you'll be like me, wanting to shout it from the mountaintops. Like, you want everybody to know about it. You want everybody to, be practicing it and literally shout it from the mountaintops. That's what you want.
Your little puppy. Absolutely, yeah. It's it's really crazy, because it is so easy to do, and yet on the flip side, it's so hard to do as well.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's just being really, really mindful, really conscious of your thoughts, and grabbing them before they go too far.
Yes, that's it. Grabbing them before they go too far is probably the best thing you could practice. And when I say practice, I want you to get good at it. And it's like jogging. It's not like a black belt. Once you get it, it's yours forever. It's like jogging. You get good at it, you need to maintain being good at it. This is every day. This is the hardest thing a man can do, is try to control their thoughts, but it yields the greatest reward a man can get, which is the ability to create his future. That's what you get with this.
Oh, that is so nice. It's so true as well. Oh my goodness. And the more you follow those negative thoughts and go down those rabbit warrens, the more you're going to be living in that sort of an environment. And I know they used to say fake it till you make it, but if you feel that fake, you will make it. Absolutely. There's no if, buts, or maybes.
The brain doesn't know, your body doesn't know the difference.
Yep. And when people say, I don't want to be fat anymore, the brain doesn't know, don't. And so basically they're going to go, oh, fat, there you go. It's not helping you to lose weight. And you can't even say, I want to lose weight, because it doesn't understand lose weight. It understands, I want to feel good. I want to feel good in my body.
Whether you focus on having debt or not having debt, your focus is on debt, and debt will grow in your life just like anything else. So
Yeah.
you have to be very careful on where your attention's going. You have to protect yourself from threats, both foreign, outside of you, and domestic, inside. So that's Facebook telling you that this person said something you didn't like, or your mind telling you something that you don't like. There's a book called The Untethered Soul. I love this book. And because it made me look at my thoughts like children clamoring for my attention. Hey, I have this idea. Hey, I have that idea. And you can choose to latch on to one and just be on autopilot and let it run. Or you can choose to shoo it away, like a dog trying to, play while you're at work or something like that. And once you can really see your thoughts that way, and this was a big part of it, of my son running around. If you gotta think of it like this. If you are hearing the thought, you are the observer of the thought. You are the observer of the thing. You are not the same. One is happening, one is listening. And if you can really separate yourself from that and then think back to your thoughts, it's funny. You call somebody and they don't answer. Like let's say you're dating somebody, you've been dating for a couple of days, you call them, they don't answer. What's the first thing you think? Did I do something wrong? Are they upset? Did they find something out, whatever it is. And it's that voice. That voice, how often is that voice wrong? A lot. It's always saying something that ain't, what if I don't make it? What if I don't this? And this is the voice you're going to listen to? This is the one you're going to let steer you emotionally? And when you really start to look at it like that, it really, really changes the way you see things. And then when stuff happens, you take it differently. And that's why I call it's a total mind makeover. I am so far from the person I used to be, and I'll never go back.
No.
I'll never go back.
You can't unlearn it, can you, Neo? You just can't. Once you've learned it, you can't unlearn it. You can forget about it for a little while, but you can't unlearn it.
That's what I love about this shirt. I am a walking billboard for those who can't see. The shirt says thought. It's an all black shirt with white letters that say thoughts become things. Everywhere I go, someone's like, "Oh, I love that shirt," or "That is so true." Those are the cool people. But to everybody else who sees it and don't say nothing, I know that night they're going to be on the sofa during a commercial break running a terrible scenario. And they're going to say to themselves, maybe I shouldn't spend my time in that headspace. And that's what I want. That's why I wear this shirt. I want to be a walking billboard reminder. Don't screw up your tomorrow by thinking the wrong thing today, basically.
Yeah. That is so cool. And so we're getting low on time now. I do want to just jump back onto your website, so neopositivity.com, but I also just want to remind people about the summits. So this is going to air, apparently this is going to air on your birthday too. So I'm going to say happy birthday.
Thank you. Yes, it'll be on my birthday when you guys hear this. I'll be turning 41.
Oh, really? Oh, my goodness, you don't look it. God. And here's me saying a young man. It's like, whoa. So that's really cool. So that's your birthday and the summit. So when is the summit? It's happening. It's every month, did you say?
Yes. Every month on the third Saturday of every month. I just sent you a link. If you could post that would be amazing. It's the Summit's Facebook group, so you can get updates about the Summit, and that's a friendly place where you can go and get. I have a subscription too. I'll actually give you that, where you can get it's like a daily dose, a different mental exercise that I've come up with. But yes, the Summit. The next one's February 19th.
But this is going in March. So when is it in March? It'd be the third Saturday in March.
Oh yeah, the third. I'm pretty sure it's the 19th again.
I'm
almost 100% sure it's the 19th again.
Yeah, I think February and March are the same. So I've just popped it on the ticker tape, which is facebook.com, obviously, under groups, and it is NEO's LOA Summit. So Law of Attraction, NEO's Law of Attraction Summit. So LOA. So jump on there and you can actually get a few of those things. Hang on, what's this one? He keeps sending me messages.
Oh yeah, that's the other one. I think if you click comments, you can paste them in there and it'll go to all the different platforms. But that's the subscribe. So in the group, you get the updates about the summit. So March 19th, noon to 4 p.m. Eastern time. It's a free summit. So make sure you invite everybody. A majority of the world can't afford to go to these $1,000 summits. And that's why I make this free, because that's my target audience. That's the big number. That's the large percentage of the population. And we need them if we're going to change the planet. So you got no excuse. Come on and get some information.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's really cool. Okay. So one more last thing you want to share with us, Neo, before we go?
Well, of course, the merchandise, but it's not about the money. This wristband basically saved my life. When you're driving and someone cuts you off, it says thoughts become things, stay focused. That's your reminder. If they cut you off, it was for a reason. Same thing with these poker chips. You keep it in your pocket when you feel it. If you don't get a poker chip, don't worry about that. Go outside, find a pebble, put it in your pocket. And every time you reach in your pocket and feel it, just say thank you 10 times or say yes 10 times. Watch what it does. And the little small victories you get, celebrate them and they will turn into bigger victories. If you need anything else, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I've got hundreds and thousands of videos for every topic you could possibly think of. It's all at your fingertips. It's all free. Let's make change.
Wow. Yeah, that's good. And it's not that you've got it so I can't have it. It's available for everyone. We've all got the ability to have it, haven't we?
Right there. The information's there. Come get it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being on the show too, Neo. That was really enjoyable. That's cool.
Thank you for having me. It feels amazing to be right next to someone who's sharing that same type of loving, I want to do better, I want to change the earth type of energy. I love it. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you.
Oh no, yeah, thank you. Thank you for connecting with me. It's nice to be with the like-minded people that are happy to I'm happy to give. I love giving this information and helping people. And it's like you say, it's not about the money. The money helps me to survive in this area. But it's more about the giving, because I know the more I give, the more you do receive, and you receive it in so many different ways. It's lovely.
And you receive it in multiple. Like if I were to go after a client, I would get $20 for a t-shirt. Whereas if I was to give out a $20 t-shirt, I'm probably going to get somewhere around $100 or $200 worth of something back.
Absolutely.
I'd rather get it from the universe than than a kind customer anyway, because it comes back in multiples. But either way, it's love. Either way, it's love. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And stay on the line, because I've got to do the little photo thing. And I will, things you have to do. And I will talk to you very, very soon. Thank you so much, Neo.
Thank you. And peace, love, and happiness to everybody out there.
Thank you. Oh, that was great. Jump on the Facebook or jump on his website, subscribe, and get an understanding of that. To be able to join in to those summits, like on Facebook or anything like that, you're picking up all that information and it's all there. The more you hear it, the more you take it on board, the more it actually works. If you just sort of go, oh yeah, I'll do that later, you won't get there. You've got to be constantly looking at it and constantly being open to these tricks and these beautiful treats that we can get. So it's lovely. But yeah, that's me for today. Do what you have to do. Subscribe. No, not what you have to do. Do what I want you to do. No. Subscribe, do all the rest, like, share, and all. Oh, look, I get sick of saying all that sort of stuff. Anyway, I'm going to say bye for now. Have a great week, guys. And I look forward to catching up with you next week. Okay, bye for now.